Sportsnet Lakers, driven by your Southern California Honda dealers, Chris McGee, James Worthy, Derek Fisher. We got Allie Clifton joining us a little bit later on. Mike Bresnahan and Mike Trudell will handle the post-game duties. Lakers fall to the Milwaukee Bucks. The offensive woes continue for this Lakers team, guys, without AD and LeBron. After a great first quarter where they put up 30 points, they hit 8 threes. The rest of the way, they go just 2 for 23 from three-point land. 2 for 23 the last 3 quarters. James, they failed to reach 100 points again. 22 turnovers that led to 27 points.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show you that it's a 48-minute game, okay? No matter how you come out of the blocks, which I thought the Lakers did a really good job. They hit some threes in the first 8 of them. That's a lot. But you can see as the game goes on, it's a 48-minute game. And Milwaukee came alive and, they began to, make their presence known defensively. And they have more than one weapon. They got some weapons on that team. Middleton is really a hot guy. Holiday, Dante can get a hot. I know Giannis is the guy, but they showed why they are the Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah, the Lakers struggled a little bit. Couldn't get offense going. Couldn't get, turn the ball over. Didn't really help. I think that what's really slowed them down in the second half, in the second quarter, was you turn the ball over, it affects so many other parts of the game. They just couldn't get it all together.
Yeah, and they've been inefficient offensively for some time. We showed the numbers, prior to the game.
Yeah.
It's been a struggle offensively. The first quarter, 8 threes. We thought, okay, the last couple games they've been shooting it well. Maybe that this will be the night that they can, put a few quarters together. But Milwaukee is so efficient offensively, really difficult to slow them down as the game went on. I thought even though the Lakers struggled, which when you're not making shots, you do start to lose some energy defensively. But at no time did the Bucks really struggle to score the ball, shot it really well. And, over the course of a game, 2 30-point quarters by the Bucks, second quarter, third quarter. And it was tough to slow them down.
And whether it's the energy dropping or you're starting to get out hustled because of so many turnovers or you just can't find that rhythm, let's talk about the wind going out of the sails for the team and fans, for all of us. I mean, the big news, Andre Drummond becomes a Laker. He's going to play. He's going to start. But you only really get to see him for 14 minutes. He comes out in that second half, doesn't start. You see him kind of playing with the toe sleeve, goes to the locker room, does not return, guys. So 14 minutes of action. Big toe on the right foot, contusion. X-rays came out negative. But Andre Drummond did not play in the second half.
Part of the game. Drummond hadn't played in a month.
6 weeks.
I said regardless of 6 months.
Yeah. 6 weeks.
6 weeks, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And so I really wasn't expecting like a dominant game. I expected to come in, get used to the team. And I think he came in and played really, really hard. And that's hard to do after you hadn't been playing for a while. You come out, he's really trying to impress his new team. I thought his energy was really good. I think he got tired a little bit. Unfortunately, the toe is it's part of the game. I really wasn't expecting him to come in and turn things around immediately. We got what we wanted to see out of him, I think, tonight in one game, 14 minutes.
Yeah, and so big, so explosive, as an athlete. I remember Shaq, sustaining a toe injury and something that really lingered for him at certain points in a couple of our seasons. And, it's something to keep an eye. That means he's been working out really, really hard. So definitely not something to rush him back if it really is, a contusion or something that's been kind of lingering a little bit over the last couple weeks.
By the way, Fish, that Shaq toe injury, the biggest toe injury I can ever remember, no pun intended, that was a big deal.
It was a huge deal.
It was a huge toe, figuratively, literally. But Andre Drummond, I guess, big game. The thought is, right, obviously the concern becomes you don't want that to linger. You hope he's okay. But people think, just a toe, but you're pushing off with that toe. You pivot with that toe, explode, everything. Get off the ground. I mean, it's.
Yeah, people think hangnails don't hurt,
but
they hurt like hell. You'd rather have a sprained ankle or something. But yeah, I mean, don't rush Drummond. I mean, you don't want to rush him back into anything. The toe is part of the foot. And, you know, you can't do anything without him. As you mentioned, Gita, it's stopping, it's starting, it's jumping. So, yeah, I hope it's something mild and something he can recover from really quickly. But I
don't know. That pain could be like actual
it's a bone bruise.
pain. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's a bone bruise, I mean, that sleeve doesn't really, you know, that only helps in terms of like, you know, your shoe rubbing against the toe if there's, you know, the irritation. So that helps protect the toe from friction. But if it's a bone bruise, I don't think that was something that maybe just happened tonight. It may be something that he sustained as he was training to prepare to come in.
Yeah. All right. What about the big three from the Bucks? We'll talk about the Bucks a little bit. They were on a 3-game losing streak. They were on a 6-game winning streak before that. We talked in the pregame show about Drew Holiday coming over. That acquisition was big for them. They were kind of hoping that would make them a contender. They've been pretty much a pretender the last few postseasons. Big game James, a kid out of Campbell Hall, UCLA. Had a big night tonight offensively. He usually doesn't give him that kind of offense, 25 points.
Yeah, sought after. A lot of people would have loved to have Drew Holiday because he possesses a lot of basketball skills. We don't talk about his defense. His defense is amazing.
Great two-way player.
Amazing defense. He's strong. He's like a little fire hydrant. You're not going to go around him. You're not going to out-muscle him. And he's very savvy with his hands. So if you put it in reach, he's really good at staying in front of you and moving laterally. And then offensively, he's a threat. He's strong. Same thing on the offensive end. He's strong upper body, the ability to post up smaller guards and go over the top with soft shots. He would have been a great pickup for anybody.
His speed, even as a young player, he doesn't play too fast. Makes good decisions with the basketball. Like James said, he's an elite defender. Long arms, even though he's probably listed at 6'4", 6'5", his arms are really long. Can guard bigger players. And, it'll be interesting to see in the postseason with these three guys, like Giannis, really having another playmaker, decision maker.
Put a lot of pressure off him, right?
Late in games. It takes a lot of pressure off the ball, having to be in Giannis's hands to create plays. And Chris Middleton continues to get better. All
right, guys, let's get you to the highlights. We take you to Staples Center. Andre Drummond. Lakers have one of their poorest shooting nights of the year. And they struggle from three after that first quarter. All right, Allie, thanks for joining us. Tough road coming up, too.
I was going to say, as tough as this one was, it doesn't get any easier. Yeah. What does it look like for the Lake Show moving forward? 7 on the road, 6 of 7 away from Staples because they have the Clippers on Sunday. All 7 teams, guys, are either in the playoffs as it stands today, or you have 2 teams, the Kings and the Raptors, who are on the cusp of a play-in opportunity. The Kings, winners of 7 of their last 10. They're 7-3, playing good basketball. The one thing we know about the Lakers, guys, they take a lot of pride in staying in the moment, taking it game by game, as well as handling adversity. They also take a lot of pride in, as we know, winning away from home. Now, I get it, they're without their superstars, but one of the big reasons as to why they are able to come together and win on the road is because they do just that. And you think of adding a new guy like Andre Drummond, this stretch could be big for them in terms of chemistry, camaraderie, finding ways to come together, control what you can control, what oftentimes players discuss and talk about.
I think Allie brings up a great point. Now, we don't know what Andre Drummond's future looks like right now in terms of the toe, but being a part of the team, traveling, getting to know each other. He already knows Keith, he knows KCP, but you just learn each other's style and start to bond a little bit. Could be very valuable moving forward, James.
Absolutely. Gives him a chance to see how the team functions. He's on the road. He definitely will be communicating with the coaching staff if he's not able to, practice. So, yeah, anytime you could be on the plane, talking on the bus, the more cohesiveness and friendship and fellowship you can achieve, the better it will be on the floor. So, yeah, it'd be good for him to be with the team.
Yeah, no, agreed. I think on the road you get to spend more, quality time with your teammates. And so they'll have a lot of discussion, plane rides, bus ride to and from airport, time in the hotel, a lot of video on the road, not as much practice time. So it'll be a good opportunity to become closer as a group. And hopefully physically, Andre can get himself to a point where he can get on the court and continue to get that feel for his teammates as well.
I mean, even a simple thing like a pick and roll. right? Like you have to learn by playing with a guy where he likes it, what his hands are like, what's the good zone for him up top, what he's able to do as well. I mean, yes, they played against him, but playing with him is a whole different thing.
Completely different thing. And you do have to understand those things about your teammate. We all have strengths and weaknesses, you know, as a group. Some guys are really good catching bounce passes, catching the ball in traffic. Other guys, you have to give them a little bit more time to see the basketball coming so that they can gather it and finish it the way you need them to. So those are all things they'll learn with more reps with one another. And then, of course, when they get LeBron and Anthony Davis back, you know, you're kind of reprogramming again as a team and starting to settle in, hopefully, as they get into mid-May.
Yeah, I mean, and he's got several players that he could get the pass from. I mean, it could be Schroeder, it could be LeBron, it could be, you know, a number of players. So the more he gets, like we said, the more he gets to know his teammates, the better it's going to be.
It appeared, oh, you got it.
No, go ahead.
It just appeared watching him tonight that there was a lot of thinking going on versus reading and reacting.
Instead of just going out and
rightfully so, yeah. I mean, Frank just mentioned at practice, that was a great practice session for him. It was very short and not enough per se, so they're not throwing a lot of action at him. He handled the package that they were able to deliver to him, but there's still so much more to learn that only time will allow him to do so.
All right, let's hear from Frank Vogel. He's speaking with Mike and the media.
Hey Frank, we saw the report about Andre and the toe X-rays negative. Anything else you can tell us about that at this point?
No, I don't know if he got stepped on or whatever, but it was really bothering him. You know, almost didn't return after halftime, gave it a run, and you can see he was limping. So we got him out to see if the doc could work on it a little bit, but wasn't able to return.
Is there anything that you can expect for the next day or two working on it? Any indication yet for when you might be able to play?
Yeah, I'll be reevaluated tomorrow, see how it feels overnight, and be day-to-day.
Frank, how deflating was that after the first half? Seemed like there was a lot of energy in the building with him coming in and then starting the third quarter not having him out there. Did you feel like that had made an impact in that second half?
You know, I don't think so. You know, I think, you know, we got a next man up mentality with this group. And, you know, obviously we were all excited to see Dre in a Lakers uniform. And it didn't play out as long as we wanted. But, you know, we knew we had plenty to get the job done. And, you know, we just fell short.
All right, let's go to Dave.
Frank, I think you guys were a +7 in the 7 minutes Drummond played in the first quarter, maybe prior to bothering the foot. What did you see out of that group and his impact early on in the game?
Yeah, well, you know, he draws a lot of attention in the paint, you know, and during that stretch, we really shot the ball well from the perimeter. Something we really, you know, we had some drill work in practice yesterday, and to create a lot of open shots for guys to get some live shooting work. And you know, I thought that part paid off. We're playing the right way offensively, generating high-quality looks, and you know, Andre, you know, rolling to the basket and being in the paint, you know, draws a lot of attention, and guys knock down shots during that stretch. So you know, he definitely benefited us during that.
Dan Wiki.
Hey Frank, I was hoping you could clear this up. So at some point in the first half, Andre's toe started bothering him, and then I know there was that delay in game, start the second half, kind of what happened in that short amount of time, and we were kind of down here.
Yeah, he was just, they were working on it at halftime. He came out and, you know, they were still working on it as we were about to start the half, you know, so, you know, we expected him to be in there, but they were still working on it as the half was about to begin. So we had to go to Trez. We had to sub Trez.
And it wasn't anything that was bothering him, to your knowledge, before tonight?
I don't believe so, no.
All right, let's go to Kyle Goon.
Hey Frank, you guys have obviously just taken a bunch of hits in the last couple of weeks. I'm just kind of wondering, what do you tell your team, and what do you maybe even tell yourself, sort of about this next stretch if you guys have to keep going without Andre? I mean, does that add up cumulatively, or is there, or can you find a way to kind of keep your attitude maybe even?
You mean taking a lot of hits in terms of guys being out?
Yeah.
Referring to? Yeah, we don't worry about that. We're about the guys in uniform. We know we have enough. We have a deep team. We've been playing really good basketball, getting better each game during this stretch, and you know, we're confident that we can win. You know, the schedule gets really tough, you know, over the next couple weeks, but our group is going to keep working. We're going to grind. We're going to prepare, and we're going to believe in one another. And we expect to win.
Please take a moment and give a round of applause for both of my coworkers, colleagues, for the job that they did.
This is your opportunity. Don't overthink it. You're a Laker. Join the team. Let's win a ring and let's rage. And now that night, guys, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. We always do that kind of stuff. I thought it was fun and I had a good time doing it. And then I get home that night and I'm looking and Allie wrote, "Our guy Geeter went viral." So now I'm like, okay, I got to look into this.
This is a big deal.
I don't know. It just came to me
Felt
like,
right.
I don't know. I just was like, dude, don't overthink this. You're a Laker. Get the uniform, let's win a title, and then what do you do after you win a title? You rage.
Lucky enough to get a one-on-one with Andre the next day. It was interesting. I had to write the questions, had about a dozen of them, and then I realized I have to move this question up. It is too far down.
Got into the cleanup spot?
I think it was fourth. Yeah, it was the fourth question. Absolute cleanup.
I watched that video like 10 times. That was a very, very heartfelt message that he sent, but definitely was really, really cool to see.
If you hadn't heard, we have a brand new Lakers podcast we are bringing to you weekly called The Lake Show Podcast. Come join me, Geeter, and Brez, where we cover all the biggest topics regarding the Lakers. We'll also answer your questions or calls, so make sure to get involved. Episode 2 is out now. Download our Spectrum News app to listen or enjoy it wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Fish, big game. You guys want to be a guest? We'd love to have you.
Book 'em, Allie.
Speaking of, give us the assist tonight if you would say yes, but for now, the helpful Honda assist to the game is Schroeder to Drummond. Cricket, Tom.
You gotta get another chair for big game.
Get some new furniture. And something to drink.
I thought the lights were great.
Something to drink and some new furniture. I'd love to come on. I've watched it a couple times. You and Brez, man, you guys are different on that show than a little more giddy over there.
If only you saw us on the first episode.
Well behaved out
We're
here,
going to go back to Staples Center. Andre Drummond is speaking with the media,
My
guys.
roll, coach.
Hey, Andre, could you take us through how you first hit or injured the toe, and then what was going on at halftime before you tried to come out in that third quarter?
Yeah, and in the first quarter when I came out, Brooke had stepped on my foot, and I didn't really think anything of it. I came back in the second quarter and it was hurting a little bit more, and then after halftime, I finally took my sock off to look, and my whole toenail was gone. So it was just all bad from there. I couldn't walk or run, so I just told coach to take me out.
And what's the process at this point, Andre, in terms of what you do next?
As of right now, I'm just gonna what do you do for a toe? I don't know. I'm not really sure what to do. I'm just gonna talk to the training staff and find out what's the best thing to do to get back as quick as possible.
I suppose it's a little harder to evaluate your first game, given the toe injury, but how did you put together how things started for you and what you saw in your first evening here?
Yeah, in that first quarter, a lot of energy from our guys and myself. We're having a lot of fun out there. Just unfortunate for that to happen in the first game.
Aaron? Yeah, I'm very unfortunate. Before the game, you could see, you didn't have everyone with that and sweat going. You look pretty excited to be playing for the first time in a month and a half. How frustrating is it to have that kind of taken away by a toenail?
Yeah.
Something so small.
I don't know what to say at this point. It's just unfortunate. Like I said, it's unfortunate that it happened in the first game, but there's not much I could do about it. Just try to find a way to get better and come back ready to play next time.
Hey, Andre. Still trying to process everything you're saying just now, but was there any measure of relief that you got when you learned that the X-ray came back negative and that there, isn't the potential for a really long-term injury?
Yeah, I was definitely very happy to see that it was a negative result on the X-ray. So it's just a day by day, just icing it, taking care of it, making sure I get it wrapped up to, seal the missing toenail that's not there.
So, Andre, making me cringe here even you say it. How painful is this? I mean, have you ever experienced something like this?
No, I mean, I've lost a toenail before, but this one was very painful. I'm looking at, you see me looking down at it because I'm like, I can't even put shoes on. I have on flip-flops right now, so it's very, very painful.
All right, we have time for one more with Andre. Let's finish with Rachel Nichols, please.
Andre, what's sort of the feel of the team and kind of where things are for you right now once you did finally get out with them? You know that what they're missing and what kind of boost you could provide. The idea that you could be there and kind of go through that at least at the beginning. What was that feeling like?
Yeah, I mean, if you saw the first couple minutes of the game that I was out there, you know, just the energy defensively that I brought, and it kind of boosted everybody on both ends of the court. So, again, just unfortunate to, you know, had this happen to me in the first game. Kind of was a little deflating for me, but, you know, my head is high. Going to take it day by day and come back better than ever.
Thanks.
Andre, thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so we got to hear from Andre right there. Lost the toenail. Brooks stepped on in the first quarter. He noticed it at halftime. It was just getting more and more painful. He said right now he's got flip-flops on. Can't put on that shoe day to day because he really doesn't know what this is going to be like. But he did play 14 minutes. So your job, Fish, for Fish's Focus, is to break that down.
Yeah, no, it's good to hear that it is not a bone bruise or something that could linger, although obviously this is still something to pay attention to. I think for Andre tonight, the Lakers were -8 in his 14 minutes. So a good, 14-minute stretch. And most importantly, defensively. Lakers, one of the top-rated defensive teams in the league. This play is difficult, Geets. One jump to contest Giannis' shot. Ball is being passed. He lands and then is back off the floor and meeting DiVincenzo at the rim. That's rim protection that is going to come in handy as he continues to get comfortable with his new team here. Screen roll, really good with the basketball. A lot of bigs now, once they touch the paint, instead of getting in there, taking a charge and trying to dunk it, nice push floater. Here, you can play through Andre Drummond. Post him up. He's good going to get his, but he also can make plays for other teammates. Drew Holiday kind of hanging out, trying to crowd him. Stuck behind the basket and still has the IQ and the awareness. Find an open teammate. This is pretty far out for Dennis. Knocks down the three. And then here, again, stepping out away from the basket, setting a step-up screen roll, and then still able, as he's going down, doesn't run directly down to the front of the rim, stays in this pocket where he can be available for Dennis, catches in traffic, nice smooth finish around Brook Lopez's contest. And so as you can see, just a combination of good defensive activity, contesting, blocking, changing shots at the rim, and then also putting pressure on the rim with post-ups as well as pick and roll. So a player that the Lakers are going to be able to take advantage of, going to make their offense more efficient as they were in that first quarter tonight, and also help them defensively.
Let's just say he misses some games. Great breakdown there, Fish. Marc Gasol steps into that role. That's someone that they've been playing with all year. Obviously, he's missed his share of games due to COVID and some other stuff, but big game. He's a guy that you can just plug in, and they know how to play around him.
Well, they have been playing with Marc the last few games, so they have been starting to develop a style of play with Marc, particularly when he's at the top of the key. He's able to, be a trigger, a passer when guys are moving without the basketball. He also has started to, knock down a 3 or 2 a game. The vertical, being vertical in the paint, a big body. So yeah, they're used to him. They just have to continue what they've been doing with him the last few weeks or so.
Jump in there, Fish.
I was impressed with Marc tonight.
Yeah.
Like for a veteran guy.
Probably didn't think he was playing, right?
Yeah, like for a veteran guy that has played as many games and as accomplished as he's been in his career, to mentally, keep himself ready for the coaching staff to be able to go to him to start the fourth quarter after not playing the first 3 quarters and play well. Did some really good things, missed a couple threes, but you immediately saw the rebound, the long outlets. Like he still can energize his team. Giannis tried to drive him. He stripped it, knocked it off his leg. So they'll be able to get the timing right back to being comfortable playing with Marc. It's just that depth is gone again in the middle.
Yeah, real quick, off of something that Fish showed us right there with the Fish's focus, Big Game James. I wanted to go back to you with Andre Drummond. I know it's only a few plays. That's Access 360, right? You're showing a few plays. Did you see enough in those 14 minutes?
I did, because I know he has the ability to adapt. One game with hardly any practice time, Gator. Yeah, I see enough. I've seen enough over his career. I mean, it's not going to change that much with this team. Once he gets into a system of playing with guys, getting in the playbook, we talked about tendencies, all those things will come natural, and he won't be thinking as much. He'll just be playing naturally. So, yeah, I mean, I saw enough tonight. I mean, he's the defensive one, the one play that was really outstanding. And then he showed me enough that he can play.
Yeah, Ali brought up a good point about thinking a lot, right? Wants to do everything correctly, and he's, not playing as freely as he will once he gets acclimated.
Yeah, not just him, his teammates.
His teammates as well.
A lot of times
they want to force him the ball.
They wanted to get him the ball in the post, make sure he's successful tonight, but it'll start to smooth out as time goes.
Drummond rocking the number 2 jersey for the purple and gold. Who wore it best?
How many championships in the 3?
Well,
I look confused on this particular image.
Ball.
So
it's been a couple years here.
I don't know if I agree with the other 2s, but we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Nah, it's welcome to LA, Andre. Yeah, no, he definitely feels the 2 out more than.
It just doesn't look like a big man number to me.
It doesn't. He's pretty light on his feet, though. Like he's pretty light, and hopefully he can get another championship as part of this team, and that's the best way to rock the number 2.
That is the best way.
Quinn Cook was rocking it. He got him a championship last year with number 2.
Good point. Good
we'll
point.
see if Andre can do it too.
All right, we've got more to come. The Antetokounmpo brothers united tonight at Staples Center. Bucks win 112-97. We'll hear from Kyle Kuzma coming up.
Can't explain to young players watching at home how that pickup, like he was going left, and picked it up and got back right, and that's a professional.
That's a professional
basketball player right there.
Kyle Kuzma scored 16 points, but made just 1 of 9 from deep. He's speaking with Brez.
Hey, Kyle, kind of a strange game tonight. Andre Drummond in and out of the lineup. Did you happen to speak with him in the locker room afterwards, and how's he doing right now?
He's doing all right. I mean, he got his toenail ripped off, so can't imagine that. He feels super good and comfortable on the court. And hopefully he can go Friday.
How about you guys on the whole? Very good first quarter. You guys are really connecting from deep. Made 8 of your first 12 from 3-point range. But things kind of tailed off after that. What did you see out there?
Yeah, it just tailed off. I think we just played a little bit of a different style and from the first and the second halves. I think I need to be better. I think in the first half I did a really good job of being on the ball and setting guys up and setting the table. And in the second half I didn't really do that. I kind of became an off-ball shooter. So, I think of being more assertive and getting guys involved. I think that was the number 1 thing from the first half. I can do better. So.
Kyle, you guys now have 7 road games in a row coming up. What are some of the things you can do to get some wins under your belt?
We just got to play like we did in that first half. I think we played really well. Everybody shared the ball, and we got quality shots. In the second half, we took a lot of difficult shots, a lot of end of the shot clock shots, and a lot of just tough mid-rangers. So that's just what areas we got to address.
Thank you.
Inside the numbers from Lexus, Big Game James, and we've talked about the 3-pointers, 10 of 36. Remember, they started the game 8 of 13, so just 2 of 23 the rest of the way. It's one of their worst shooting nights of the year at just 40%. And of course, the turnovers were big, 22 that led to 27 Bucks points. You heard Kyle Kuzma talking about himself right there, going 1 for 9 from 3. The looks are there, got to knock them down. You want these guys to stay aggressive. You got to shoot them to win basketball games, and is missing.
Yeah, you hate to not knock them down when you had open looks. And, Kuz had some open looks tonight. Sometimes I think I'm not a shooter like that, but sometimes I think he's kind of rushing it a little bit. He needs to take his time and maybe not take the 3, pump fake, go in 10 feet, knock it down and get it that way. But, yeah, turnovers, as we talked about, man, when they start turning it over, it seems like all the other plus things went away, like the threes, the easy buckets, it kind of stymies you.
Go ahead, Fish. What I was going to say was, they had 36 attempts. We heard Dennis say a few nights back, like, this team has to learn how to play a different style. You don't have AD and LeBron, so you're seeing guys get more attempts from three.
Yeah, more guys are getting more attempts, and I thought Frank Vogel said something early, like he feels like the team they're making the right plays, right, in terms of creating the opportunities, and guys are getting quality looks. I mean, some of it is just making the shots, that you are getting. The turnovers sometimes as well. Like, I remember with the Golden State Warriors during, the height of their run, a lot of people were concerned about their turnovers. But the Warriors used to track the number of passes, and most NBA teams track their total number of passes per game. And a lot of good offensive teams are looking to pass the ball at least 300 times in an NBA game. So if the Lakers they watched film yesterday, they talked about creating better looks. If they're passing that ball 250, 280, almost 300 times in a game, all of a sudden 20 turnovers doesn't sound as bad if they're making some of the shots that they are getting.
Are they passing up good shots to try to find the great shot?
At times, yes.
Yeah.
Which you should. It's just that your offense isn't as easy without those two guys on the court. I was thinking earlier, it's like if you took Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski off of any football team they've ever played on together.
Yeah.
And then you wonder why they don't throw as many touchdowns and they don't get as many yards.
Remember the Pats this year? Weren't good.
Right? So that's what the Lakers are balancing. And so they're going to have to find a way to create, different situations, and it won't be the same every night.
Yeah.
It's going to be different each night with this group.
Yeah, it's hard, James, to just put together that complete game, right? Like, they were playing great. Here we are watching the game together. There's 4 minutes left in that first half. Great energy. We're all pretty excited about it. 14-4 run for the Bucks, and it kind of carries over. And the next thing you know, you're down 12, 15 points, and you're just not that team that can strike back, and even though the effort's there.
Yeah, well, you said it. You said team. Milwaukee, they're complete.
Yeah.
And so they have all their weapons. So when Giannis is not doing it, Middleton is killing. When Middleton's not doing, Holiday is doing. Dante, I thought Lopez, excellent defense. So blocking shots. So when you're fluid like that, you have a team that's playing together. They know how to play. The Lakers, on the other hand, they're not used to doing. Pope's not used to creating his own shots, putting it on the floor. Turnover when he did. Other guys the same way. So they're figuring it out on the fly. Unfortunately, they're without some great players.
All right, guys, more to come on Access. Lakers fall. Drummond had his debut cut short. He left in the third quarter with a big toe contusion. Played 14 minutes, scored 4 points, went 2 for 6 from the field to go along with 2 assists and 1 rebound. Wesley Matthews scored 9 points and had 3 steals. He's speaking with Brez.
Kind of an interesting game tonight. Obviously, Drummond making his debut, and then he had to leave in the third quarter. Have you had a chance to talk with him and see how he's feeling with that toe injury?
No, I haven't had a chance to specifically ask him about the toe. Yeah, I guess that pretty much answers the question. I hope he's all right, and we look forward to getting him back at full strength whenever that is.
It was a good first quarter, maybe even a first half for you guys, and then the three-point shooting kind of tailed off in a big way. What did you guys see out there from your vantage point about how this one got away?
I mean, obviously that's a very talented team. We played hard. We continue to fight. We're implementing a new guy. We're still trying to figure out, how playing it without AD and Bron, while bringing on a new player who's going to be a focal point for our team. He goes down in the third, or can't start the third quarter because of the toe. So it was pretty helter-skelter all over the place. But we played hard, we battled, and like I said, credit them. They're a good team. We still got some good shots that we missed. We stayed in the fight, but we came up a little bit short.
Yeah, we didn't get to see a lot of Drummond tonight. Played only 14 minutes. But from what you saw of him in practice yesterday, how much of an addition could he be for this team?
I mean, I think he can be a tremendous addition. He's a premier rim threat on both ends of the court. He's ridiculously athletic, you know, speed, size, puts pressure on the rim, has a pretty high basketball IQ. And once he starts picking up our coverages and our schemes offensively, and we learn how to play alongside with him, and he learns us, I think he's going to be, you know, the sky's the limit for us.
Lakers preparing, hit the road for a tough stretch. 6 of the next 7 games away from Staples Center. We're back with more after break. Game time with Access Sports Net Lakers starting at 6. Step back. Well, guys, it's all about the toe. Hopefully we'll get some news next coming days. For Derek Fisher, James Worthy, Allison Clifton, Michael Bresnahan, Michael Trudeau, Christopher McGee.
Okay.
Thanks for watching so long.